Parento from Massachusetts, Karen Damon from Alberta, Canada, and our moderator for today is Danielle Pelucio from Arizona. So please take it away, agents, and have a great conversation. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, well, welcome to ICONversations. This is going to be, we're going to continue with Beth and Russ's fabulous energy. Even though I'm currently from Arizona right now, I am a native New Yorker that relocated. So you've got two New Yorkers back to back with lots of energy. So we're going to keep that energy and excitement up as we share some fabulous tips for ICONversations, our talks today. I've got some nice questions prepared for the panel, so we'll get to learn more, and hopefully everyone in the audience can take something great away, at least one or two nuggets. I know being on panels and being a moderator, I always take something away, so I love it. Anyway, just to get a pulse on our attendance tonight, how many of you in the audience are new agents? Can you just type yes in the chat if you're a brand new agent or less than 2 years? So just so we can know who we're talking to, what the majority of people are, and we can kind of tailor our questions to help you most. Awesome. We've got quite a few that are new agents or less than 2 years old. Do we have any agents that are 3 years or more in there? If you're 3 years or more, type the word 3 or the number of years you've been in the business, so we can see if we can tailor some questions to you as well. 33. Wow, that was a big one. Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, we've got some great experienced agents too. Hopefully, I know you'll take some nuggets also. Well, let's get started. Let's start with finding out about each of these wonderful panelists. Let's start with Ian. Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself. Is Ian there? We have Ian? How about Lisa? Lisa, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. Why don't you go ahead and get started?
Oh, you want me to go? Or I think Ian just chimed in, but I can certainly go. I'll be
go
Hi,
ahead, Lisa, and then Ian, right after she finishes, why don't you jump on?
Perfect. So Lisa Parento, I am a broker team leader on beautiful Cape Cod in Massachusetts. It's a lovely place to live and work, really a resort and second home community, and it's a pleasure to be growing the EXP presence there as well. I've been in, so we sort of want to know a little bit about who we are, kind of thing.
Yes, please. Just tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been in business, what your niche is, if you have one.
Sure. So I would say I actually started selling in the 90s. I sold between 93 and 98, back when there were no buyer agents and the interest rates were about 13-14%. So it was a really different world, but I've been back in real estate since 15. So I've been selling for a while. I am really a serial volunteer with the association. I volunteer at the local, state, and national level. I'm also currently a regional vice president for Residential Real Estate Council. So a lot of my business has continued to grow because of all of those volunteer activities, and I really love to contribute, just helping realtors become kind of better realtors. In fact, I'm going to be one of the MCs for the last but not least, Northeast Regional Rallies this upcoming Tuesday. My niche is probably resort and second home luxury, but we certainly sell, whatever buyers and referrals come across our path. We look to service them in the same ways. And I am the very super proud grandma of a 3-year-old granddaughter named Eloise Ann, who has changed our lives. So that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing, Lisa. How about you, Ian? Are you on?
Hey,
this is actually Jesse Dow, and I think they just have the name mixed up on the board here.
Oh, Jesse. Okay, so we have Jesse Dow, not Ian Racer.
No, this is Ian Racer.
Oh, okay.
Hi. Yep. So, hi. I'm in South Carolina. I've only been licensed for a little over a year now, but I just finished my first year. It was awesome, and I was in the military for a little over 7 years. So that's kind of where I've tailored my niche to. But that's a little bit about me.
Well, that's fantastic. Only a year in and already an icon. All you new agents out there, you see, this is possible. I'm so excited to talk to hear from Ian and hear what he's got to say, because that's totally impressive. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Taryn, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in real estate licensed professionally for about 3.5 years. My background is in marketing design prior to real estate. I come from more of an investment background, so that would kind of be my niche, is working with investments. And this is my first time being Icon, so it's been very exciting to kind of contribute and reach this achievement. Yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. I look forward to hearing about your story as well. Lisa, I've been on panels with before, so I know a lot about her, so that's wonderful. And just so you all know, as your moderator, I'll round out the pack. I'm a 3 times icon, been with EXP 3 years, but 20 years in the business. And I don't have a particular niche. I work with a lot of physicians that relocate. We have a lot of hospitals in Metro Phoenix area, but I work with mostly residential real estate, everything from condos and investments all the way up to luxury. And that's pretty much my story. And I have a small team that we just started rolling with as well. All right, well, let's get into the meat of things. There's a lot that these people want to know and take away. So my first question for you all is, when you were starting out, how did you get your first clients? Because we have a lot of people in there that are new. I'm sure they're struggling with getting their first clients. For me, it was very organic. I started out as an investor getting my license for myself and my husband, and then friends knew I had my license and they wanted me to help them, and it just kind of organically grew from my sphere. How about you, Lisa? How did you get your first clients? I know that this is down memory lane because it's been a while for you, but how did you get your first clients?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't even remember back in the 90s. I'm glad I can remember in 15. It's so fun to think about that though too, right? So my very first clients, both of them were people that I knew, sphere of influence. One was an older couple, and I was actually able to do, I sold their home and sold them another home. So I had both. I didn't get both sides of both, but I had, a sell buy, and then the other one was in my sphere of influence in my yoga community. And it was the gal who I practice yoga with. It was her husband had a property, and we ultimately sold it to the estranged daughter. So it was an arm's length dual agency transaction, and it was only like my second one. It was kind of it from the flame into the frying pan, or however that goes. That was arm's length dual agency, and I think the first lender was like Quicken or something. I mean, it just was everything, right? It was. I learned a lot anyway, so that's how I started. So sphere of influence for sure.
How about you, Taryn?
So I actually got my first client. It was a referral from another agent in another larger city that I used to live in prior to Calgary. So when I first got my license, I kind of reached out to some of the other real estate agents that I knew, prior to, and just asked them for advice and suggestions. And they all came with different sort of paths of where they're at in their real estate career, but it was definitely very helpful. And, just to get their insight on how to get started. And yeah, that led to a referral for my very first client.
Fantastic. Ian, how about you?
Hey, yeah, so I got my first client actually off of the EXP referral network, which is a very great tool that we have to collaborate along with other agents. I ended up getting my second and third client off of, actually, I host VA seminars for veterans and active duty servicemen on different Air Force bases near me, which is how I was able to get to Icon my first year, was just because I was able to help so many veterans in active duty, because a lot of people don't know about the potential of the VA loan, because they don't really teach us while we're in service. So that's a very good niche that somebody could pick up on, is just kind of teaching people the benefits of how to use it, especially in this marketplace with, some markets kind of slowing down. And that's how I got my clients.
That's fantastic. So just to recap, same with me, my start was sphere. So two of us have started with our immediate sphere, and then the other two started with referrals. And if you go into Workplace and EXP, you can see there's multiple groups that are referrals. Everyone should be a part of that. And put your notifications on. When your notifications come through that someone's looking for a referral in your area, reach out to that agent, let them know that you're available. And that's a great way to get referrals from other agents. Also, go to EXPCon, go to the shareholders. I network incredibly well at those events. You just meet people from all over the country. And I love catching up and meeting my buds that I've met in the different events, and we refer back and forth, and it's just a wonderful thing. So meet people and make some relationships. Absolutely. All right, let's keep on that vein a little bit more. How do you differentiate yourself? I mean, I think we kind of went over this. Lisa is her niche is the vacation homes and a little bit more luxury. And Ian is a veteran specialist. I do doctors. Taryn, what is your specialty? How do you differentiate yourself?
So I work with a lot of investor clients, both that I work in, but also out of province investors as well. So I've kind of coined myself as an investor-focused realtor, which has actually brought me a decent amount of business that way. And just really trying to take to social media and presenting myself that way. So, whether I, get a potential connection from there, or at least have some, credibility as far as like a history of what I'm talking about and sharing my experiences, then people can look that up. So that's one way I've differentiated myself.
That's great. And that kind of led to my next question. You led right into it. What are you doing right now that's working best for you to get new clients? It sounds like you're doing social media.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing social media. I wouldn't say that's how I'm getting a lot of newer clients, but it definitely helps to credibility. But okay. I have been doing online lead generation for some time now, which has definitely helped me grow my business and connect with new clients out of different spheres.
So when you say online lead generation, what exactly are you doing right now to get those newer clients that people who haven't worked with before?
So like Google PPC leads that then filter into my KV Core, and then I have an ISA that works them and nurtures them to book an appointment.
Okay, fantastic. Ian, what are you doing? It sounded like you're doing some seminars and educating vets on the VA loan. Is there anything else that you're doing to generate new business and new clients other than that, or is that your area of focus that's been working really well for you?
It's definitely what is helping me now, with doing these different seminars. I think if you are able to provide value to people, it'll keep them coming back to you. And the biggest thing is when you do these seminars or you do, these different things to really put information in front of people, just make sure you're not soliciting yourself and you're not saying, hey, I can help you with this and I can help you buy and sell. You're more just going there to provide the value and the knowledge. And then generally that'll just get people attracted to you to come talk to you if they see everything that you know of. I mean, that's the best way I did it. And so it ended up working well. Another thing I did was I do a lot of door knocking. It's something that I like to do. I like to talk to people in person and to really, show them the knowledge I have of the area and, generate free CMAs for them. And it just ends up working really well that way as well.
Wow, that's incredible. I know in today's society, a lot of agents are very not very excited about doing door knocking, but I'm hearing more and more agents that are still doing that and having a lot of success with that. So that's wonderful. Lisa, what are you doing right now? I mean, you're, I would say, a veteran of the industry. I don't know that you have to do anything to generate new clients, but if you do, what do you do? And if not, how do you keep your business going?
Yeah, so as I said, I think I've worked hard. You'll see Cape Cod in everything I do, and so I've worked hard to kind of create that as a really big piece of my brand identity. And so all of the work that I do, with my different volunteer roles has definitely helped that. I mean, I really love to contribute. And so it's obviously there's a mutuality there. But because of that, I've developed with my virtual assistant, we have a referral program and we really keep in touch with that group as I get new referrals, of course, they get added to that group. And I send out monthly emails talking about, like what fun things are happening on the Cape this month. I send the market data, just like to keep a little glimpse of Cape Cod in their minds and top of mind. And then I usually send a gift at the holidays. So I really do work at that, work honoring and thanking and including that group of agents that have given me referrals. But I always am like so many agents, I have one foot in my production piece, which is important and I love, of course, but I'm also working, not as successfully, but certainly working on growing my revenue share organization. So I'm actually I have a call today at 1:00 with a group called Real Grader, who does a lot of SEO and alignment of all of your social media and does a big piece of making sure that every single piece of what you're doing is optimized for whatever it is you're trying to attract as a magnet. When I analyze my business relative to my organization, Google has been a really, Googling EXP on Cape Cod has been definitely a thing. So that's where I'm putting attention in terms of that piece of my business. And then again, the other is just honoring and continuing to take the advice that Elizabeth Riley told me before I joined, show up and plug in.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Just for you newer agents and even experienced agents that want to grow their business, if you go on to the NAR website and find some specialization certifications, like you can be a military specialist. I'm sure, I don't know if Ian has that certification or not, but if you want to focus on the military, you can get those letters behind your name. There's 55 plus, there's vacation rentals, there's lots of different certifications that you can get. And when you take those certification classes, whether you're new or experienced, they also teach you how to tap into that genre. And, I'm a 55 plus also certified person. So I'm an SRES, and that, they taught us everything, how to do seminars, what to do to gain some clientele from specializing with that certification. So there's lots of different certifications. I highly recommend go to NAR. If you have some downtime, invest and get a certification, and then try and focus on a niche and see if that's something that you become passionate about. Like Ian is passionate about the military, Lisa's passionate about her vacation rentals, and Taryn is passionate about investors. So definitely that's if you're struggling a little bit with getting new clientele, that is definitely something that you have to do. And I always say, if you have to do CE to renew your license, you might as well get a certification. So get a certification and get better at being a realtor. Have those letters behind your name, and that will help differentiate you and specialize you to consumers. And will definitely help you become more marketable, because being marketable and attracting people to you is the best way, rather than you trying to sell yourself. Speaking with confidence.
Make a shameless plug also for the Residential Real Estate Council, RRC. That is another place where you can gain a lot of information. They have different certifications. Now they're also doing probate and luxury and negotiations, and especially when the market's shifting, and if you're newer and you don't have a ton, like Danielle was saying, a ton of business, now's the time. That's the time to get better at your craft. Go to local things too. Those have been opening up for a little while. Your local title might be doing a education seminar. So you not only will gain those skills, but you also meet other people. And, whether that's in your local market or if you attend any of the courses online or in person, NAR, RRC, or your state association, you're going to meet people outside of your network as well. And they broaden your base of understanding of the real estate market, but they also can increase your referral network.
Absolutely, 100%. Thanks for jumping in there, Lisa. All right, next question. What skill do you feel was most important to your success? Is it a skill that came natural to you or one that you had to work on? Ian, let's start with you on this one.
I would say, I don't know if it's necessarily much of a skill, but something that it makes a huge difference is having the confidence. And I really told myself, even though I was newer, and I knew that, when I told people, I'm like, hey, I want to achieve ICON my first year. And, I had a lot of people tell me to be more realistic. And I was like, well, that is being realistic to me. So I just had that confidence going in there right away that I was going to accomplish it. And, that I had the knowledge and I really had, the skill set required to become an ICON my first year and, to just be successful. So confidence was huge. And it's something I see a lot of newer agents kind of struggle with. And at the end of the day, it can make or break your business. So I would just say, have the confidence. If you don't have it, there's ways you can work on it. And knowledge is a big part of that as well.
Right, exactly. Confidence, knowing market data. You can get market data from your local associations or economists, so you can speak confidently about what's happening in the market, or whatever your niche is. Knowledge is power. The more you learn, the more confident you will be about speaking about things. Lisa, how about you?
So I would say, actually, there's two things. The first one is, coaching. I had a coach when I first came around, and she, I didn't know what everyone else in the universe has coaches, right? And so I think that having whether it's some group coaching, you don't have to pay for $11 million Tony Robbins coach, right? There can be all different formats of coaching, but learning from people way smarter than you, way more experienced than you, always. Never being the smartest person in the room, always being in a room of people that are way smarter than you. That would probably be, a willingness to learn and an intention to put yourself in those places. And then also just mindset. I have a pretty strong daily practice, and staying optimistic while being pragmatic, I think is definitely something that contributes to success all around. And that means also finding other people who share that optimism. And when you are feeling a little bit challenged, that you can find some buoyancy in some of the people that you surround yourself with. So I would say primarily coaching, and then working on what is a daily practice that you use to be able to make sure that you stay optimistic and open-minded and willing.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So if you can't afford to pay for coaching right now and you don't want coaching, another way to get support is going into some of our groups in EXP Workplace, where you can get support. You can find somebody who will be an accountability partner, find another agent, hold yourself accountable to hold you accountable. You can hold them accountable. You can join a team. You can get support and accountability from your team lead if you want to join a team. There's lots of ways you can get support and coaching if you don't want to pay for it as well. Those are definitely ideas that you can do as well. So Taryn, going to you, what's the skill that you felt was most important to your success, and did it come naturally or did you have to work on it?
So to kind of build off what Ian had said, speaking confidently and just learning as much as you can. You hear me okay? Sorry, it just says poor voice connection right now.
We hear you. We're good.
Okay, perfect. One thing that I did and I think is great as a newer agent is to get out there and do open houses. Then you can speak to potential buyers, and even if they don't end up being a client, it still gives you, an opportunity to talk the real estate, vocabulary and lingo, so then you can speak confidently to, future potential buyers, and it just helps elaborate, becoming comfortable with those types of conversations. So, open houses or door knocking is another sort of great opportunity for you to do that. Really honing in and paying attention to what's going on in your market, especially in your niche. For myself, I have probably like maybe 15 or 20 different auto email searches set up to my email. So then I'm always seeing like what's going on, what are things being sold for as far as like single family homes or rental properties. So then that way I can speak confidently to my clients, be like, oh yeah, I saw that, this house that was, 500,000, now all the $500,000 houses are selling for 550 or 600, right? So it just really gives you more confidence and knowledge to speak confidently to potential buyers. So I would say that for sure. And then as well, sort of to build off of what Lisa had said, having a mentor. My mentor at EXP has been huge for my success. I don't think I would have been where I am and being an icon without, her guidance and her systems and her insight. So that was huge. So if you can't do coaching, as you said, go and sign up for, workplace, either accountability or mentors or group coaching or whatever the case may be. But you really have to take that initiative. And that's probably the biggest for newer agents is have to do the initiative. You have to go out there and put yourself out there. No one's going to hand you real estate on a silver platter. You have to put the effort in, and that's be the key to your success in the long term.
Right, and to quote Russ, you have to kick your own donkey and make sure that you're doing the work. You have to treat this job as a 9 to 5, 40-hour a week. If you get out of it what you put into it. If you're not putting hours into building your business, you're not going to get anything out of it. For me, my skill set's a gift of gab. I talk to people everywhere I go. That's my skill that has actually helped me get new business. I'm at the grocery store. I'm wearing my logo shirt, and the cashier says to me, "Oh, you're in real estate?" Yep. Guess what? I started a conversation with her as she's checking me out, and I picked up cashiers as clients. So I mean, you can go anywhere. If you're a new agent, I saw someone posted in the chat. If you're an introvert and you don't have a big personal sphere, how do you get a sale? Well, you got to meet people somehow because this is a relationship business. So if you're not very outgoing, you can't just meet people like on the street or wherever. Then you in organizations that you're members of that are a little bit more intimate, you might want to volunteer, or if you go to church, join some church groups, get intimately involved so you can have these more personal one-on-one relationships and then grow your sphere. And grow your sphere however you can. If you're going to work an open house or door knock, you need to have the market data. You don't just show up at an open house and say, "Hey, I'm here," and people that come through are going to want to work with me because I'm holding this open house open. You need to prepare for that open house like it's a job interview. It is a job interview. People coming through your open house are going to be interviewing you potentially to work with them, and you're going to be trying to gain them as buyers. So when you're doing an open house, pull the market data. Know all the houses that are for sale or just sold in the neighborhood. Go visit some of them if you can, because if someone comes through the open house and they don't know, and that house is not right for them, then you can say, oh, well, did you see the house down the street? It's got this, this, and this, and that's really wonderful. Or a few blocks away, if you want to be in this neighborhood, this is great. This neighborhood is wonderful. It has X, Y, and Z. We have all of these amenities, blah, blah, blah. You now can speak confidently to that neighborhood and what's going on there. And that is that vote of confidence that will get you there. But you have to be smart. You have to do your research and know the areas before you do an open house. It's just not, you just don't show up to an open house and get clients. Same when you door knock. I'm sure Ian knows the neighborhoods and knows all about it when he door knocks. Is that true, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of what goes into it. Actually, a strategy that I use for my door knocking is if I have a buyer that's looking at a specific house, I will actually door knock that neighborhood if they didn't like that house, just like you said, and say, hey, I actually have buyers that I'm working with, and that way it's not almost like you're going there with a blank script. If you have something to say, and not to mention if you're confident about it, then it gets people talking, and the best thing you can do is have that conversation.
Yeah, that's a great way to find sellers. And same thing with me. If I have a client that really loves a particular neighborhood, I send what I call my magic letter. My magic letter goes out to the entire neighborhood. Hey, I have a wonderful client. They're pre-qualified. They're cash buyer. They want to be in this neighborhood. If you or anyone you know in the neighborhood is thinking about selling, please have you or your agent reach out to me. And I always get some sort of response and either pick up a new listing or pick up a buyer seller, even if it's not the right house or condo or whatnot for my clients. That magic letter, we call it the magic letter because it works like a charm. All right, that's great. One thing I wanted to know also, is there anything that you've done that you had to make a change that noticeably helped you increase your production as a result of a change? Ian, you're new to the business, so you probably, it sounds like you went you hit the ground running and your systems worked really well. Taryn, I'll go to you first on this one. When you started out, did you try a few things that didn't seem to work, and what change did you make that actually helped you gain some more business and increase your production?
Sure. So as a newer agent, I actually started with a different brokerage that was more of an independent no-name brokerage because I didn't want to just go to another big box brokerage and be another number. So I thought, well, if I go to a smaller brokerage, I'll be able to work one-on-one with the broker and really learn from him, in which, I did to a degree, but he was more of a referral-based business. So he couldn't really know how to get new clients because done it forever. So that was probably the biggest struggle. And then really, the universe worked in its ways, and I ended up switching to EXP, where I joined with my brother-in-law, who was underneath my mentor, and she is what helped me tremendously and told me what to do, by saying, do this, this, and this, and it'll work and it'll bring you success. And I did, and I believed in her, and I trusted her systems and everything. And I did it, and it worked. So, having that mentor to guide you was huge. Absolutely. Because as a new agent, don't know what you don't know. And sure, every course is different, but here they don't really teach you a lot about how to be successful in being real estate. They teach you how to do more of like the administration paperwork side and so forth, but they don't do how to prospect and grow your business and connect with people. So that was probably the biggest thing that I had to learn.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Lisa, you've been in the business since the 90s, and you stepped away and then came back. When you came back, what did you do differently? What did you change, and how did that propel your production?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was such a different world. When I think about so one of the things that really propelled my production was moving to EXP. It was almost like a shedding of a lot of, I don't want to say structure, but it absolutely opened up a whole world to me in so many ways in terms of training and network and collaboration. But also when I was in, my 2 Icon years, 2 out of 3 were during the pandemic. So, I mean, this isn't going to be intuitive, but I just put my head down and just kept going. I didn't say, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? I just kept thinking, when the sun is shining, make hay while the sun's shining. I really just put my head down and just really continued. So I guess I would say, for me, it was the kind of the absolute inspiration that I gained from the level of collaboration and generosity here at EXP. That was very transformational for me. It really was. The people that I'm in touch with, every day, are just have inspired me to do better, and not having that day-to-day drama of the kind of retail real estate shop I had been involved with, and then just putting your head down and working hard.
Yeah. Wonderful. For me, I had 2 phases where my production increased. My first phase was hiring an assistant because I had too much business and I wasn't having a life, and I really needed to leverage my time. So I hired an assistant, and that doubled my business because now I was able to handle twice as much. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, well, I have no business. Why would I hire an assistant? You can start out with a part-time VA that just does all of your advertising, social media marketing. And then as long as they are gaining you traction, you can focus on real estate. And it might be a slight investment, but getting an assistant was huge for me. And then the second piece was coming to EXP, like Lisa did. It doubled my business again, just because I was able to tap into so many things that EXP offers. And for me, primarily, it was networking and masterminding and implementing things that I've heard from other agents and the top producers, and their willingness to share and collaborate is just phenomenal. And, if you're not taking advantage of everything that EXP has to offer, the classes, the university has so many recordings of specialty sessions on everything. I mean, you should be able to really, pick 1 or 2 things and go and increase your business no matter what you're doing. All right. Let's see right here. Okay, what do you make sure you do every single day or every single week that helps to propel your business? Every single day, every single week.
Can I piggyback on one thing you just said, though, Danielle?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Super important, and I should have mentioned it. The other thing, and not so much in the explosion of my business, but in the quality of the fabric of my business, and also the quality of the fabric of my life, was hiring a virtual assistant. And that assistant, he doesn't do things that increase my current business, but there are so many things I never would have gotten to. I mean, a million things I never would have gotten to. And those things are what really are what differentiate me and what has continued to I think, contribute to our success. We talked about new business also, and I didn't get to mention we've been doing some direct mail again. One of my team members texted me and said, what about the postcards? Direct mail in 2 condo communities. We've had huge success in both. And for example, the virtual assistant went through the town field cards and got the home address. I'm in a resort and second home market. So the address of where people are on Cape Cod is probably not where they live. I never would have been able to do that, right? So just to underline so many things that I would never have gotten to without a virtual assistant, and it may not be as expensive as you think it is. So I just want to underline that virtual assistant point.
Well, the other thing, I'm going to piggyback on you, Lisa, now. I just saw the other day that they did a study of a particular neighborhood. They door knocked and called every single neighbor in that neighborhood to ask who is the number 1 agent in your neighborhood. And the first time they did this, everybody said different people. There was no one agent that kind of stood out. Then they created a fictional agent a fictional website and went and did postcard mailings to the entire neighborhood for 6 months. 6 months later, they polled the neighborhood again. Oh, who's the top agent in your neighborhood? Guess who came up as the top agent in that neighborhood from everyone? It was the fictional agent that never sold one house in that neighborhood. But
I love it.
Yeah, but the perception was that that person was the top agent because that they were getting postcards every month. So do not doubt the effectiveness of mailers. It's very, very, very effective, and be consistent. You're not going to get business from your first postcard mailer. They say do it for a year consistently, and then you should have return on your investment. So I definitely think that was mind blowing to me. I couldn't believe that, but that's something that thanks Lisa for bringing that up. All right, get back to it real quick because we're getting short on time. We only have about 8 minutes left. So what do you do every single day, every single week without fail? Ian, what do you do every single day, every single week without fail? What's in your routine that helps you be successful?
So the biggest thing I think that's helped me to this point is every night I make a to-do list. So I actually don't go off of a strict schedule. I think that my ability to stay flexible has actually helped me a lot more than if I were to, dedicate certain time blocks to something. And that's only because, as a newer agent, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get business, to get clients. So when I would have buyers or other people reach out to me and say, hey, I was thinking about working with this agent, but they said that they don't have any time for me today. Can you show me a house? And it just so happens that house I show them happens to be the house. Obviously, they don't have a buyer's, agency agreement with anybody else. But ultimately, my ability to stay flexible has helped me land listing appointments and do everything I need to do still throughout the day with that to-do list instead of being stuck to a strict schedule and potentially missing out on certain business.
Wonderful, wonderful. Taryn, how about you? What do you do every day or every week?
I would definitely say I, do have a little bit of that flexibility as well, like what Ian was saying, where, I'll make a to-do list of things that I have to get done that week and make sure that, I do get them done, but then still having that flexibility that if I have to go to a showing, that comes up that day or whatever, then I can get that in. So just, I think it can be a very, very fluid business. So you have to, definitely put the hard work and effort in, but you also have to kind of go with what is being needed, like the most important thing at the time. And as I mentioned, I have, quite a few search alerts set up for our listings on MLS here to see, what the new ones are, what's sold. So then that way I can keep an eye on, different communities that I do a lot of business in and see what things are selling for. So then I know if something is, I just have that knowledge, I guess you could say.
Wonderful. How about you, Lisa?
So, for me, foundationally, I'm always going to tell you it's my meditation practice and yoga. Keeping mentally fit has been, for me, the real bulwark and foundation of all of the other success. So without that practice, I am a cuckoo bird. So that's super important. And I also really do, like Ian was saying, I always review the night before my calendar for the next day. There's no surprises. I use, I actually already had three alarms on for today. I use, hey Siri, set an alarm to this one, for 11:30 a.m. I was just going to set an alarm, sorry. I alarm myself all day long. So I look the night before at what my day looks like. Then that morning after my practice, I look at the day and I set triggers for myself all day long for now that we're so connected to Zoom for so much of our stuff too, but whatever it is, so that I have enough travel time, so I have enough time to prepare, so that there's no surprises during the day. And that obviously eliminates a lot of anxiety of not being where you're supposed to be at the right time and not being prepared. So
that's wonderful. Yep. Similar to the other two, I do a list each morning when I get up. The first thing I do is create my list for the day. But what I also do is I spend 2 to 3 hours a day trying to work on my business, not in my business. And I do that in the mornings. So working on my business, I'll go on social media and try and engage with people. I'll make phone calls. I'll just check in on clients and see how they're doing. I'll get my assistant's day ready where she's going to be reaching out and sending letters or birthday cards for my clients. I send birthday cards religiously every single month to all of my clients. We have all of their birthdays. We send mailers out for the holidays. I work my sphere quite a bit, and that takes time. So I work on my business 2 to 3 hours every single day, and then I work in my business the rest of the time. Working on your business every single day, lead generating, is what's going to get you not only new business, but also consistent business. So you don't have that ebb and flow of one month you may have 4, 5, 6 transactions and then nothing the next month. You have to be working on your business all the time, so that this way you have that consistent lead generation and referral. Because my business is all referral, so that's what we do, and that's what I do every single day. All right, we've got just a few minutes left. So what I'm going to ask is each panelist, what is the one thing someone can leave this room and do right now to increase their business? What's one thing that you would share that they can leave this room right now and start implementing? How about Taryn? Let's start with you.
So I think really need to take a look into your own business and see, which, maybe one part that really brings you joy and that you enjoy doing. And then just like be the best at that and go and do that and put 110% into that. Because, if you really don't like doing door knocking, you could force yourself to do it, but I think it's going to come out in, when you're in front of somebody. So then try and do, open houses, or try and just get out there and do different activities where you can connect with other people in the public to, reach other clients. So I think really, take a look at what you enjoy doing and how that can relate to your business, and then go out there and do that 110% and like really put everything into that. So then that will help you grow, in your own business.
Okay, great. Lisa, what's the one nugget they should take away and try right now?
I would say make a commitment to Sunday night when the education calendar comes out for next week to choose 2 things that you are absolutely committed to doing that are totally out of your comfort zone that you just want to learn about. Not that you might want to get deeper into it, but just to open up your real estate business and think about some areas that you might want to expand on, and you're going to meet some interesting people in that room. So whether it's online at eXp World or finding something in the next week that's going to be in your local market, to get out, be around people, and learn something new.
Yeah, wonderful. I agree 100%. How about you, Ian?
I would just say, it's something we talked about throughout the panel is I would say find a niche. That's my biggest thing. I think depending on what it is, whether, for me, I do VA buyers, Taryn does investors, and Lisa does vacation rentals. It's like something that something you can focus on and hone in on. And I think if you have that, it gives you a basis for where you want to go and where you want to be. And if you can really hone in on that, then obviously I would just kind of do that. And then start to expand your knowledge into other areas of real estate. And ultimately, that's how your business grows and develops.
Wonderful, wonderful. And from me, I would 100% say pick a certification you want and go and get it. You'll increase your knowledge. And also take 20 business cards and meet 20 new people. Go out there today, right now, this weekend, and hand out your business card to 20 people and just meet people and try and see what happens. A great place to do that is a hardware store. Go to the hardware store, say, I'm looking for new vendors. Are you a vendor? It could be a homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I'm updating my home because I'm getting ready to sell. Oh, I'm a realtor. You never know who you're going to meet. I've heard of people meeting contractors and getting whole subdivisions from just being aggressive and talking to people in the Home Depot. So I say take your business cards out and go and meet people, because this is a relationship business, and get out of your comfort zone. Make conversations so you can have some opportunities. All right, the last thing we're asking of your audience is Brian put a Google form in there. We would love your feedback to see how we did today. We always want to improve iConversations and make these better for you. We want to know if you like the questions we talked about today. If there's something we didn't touch upon that you want us to talk about, you can type it in the chat right now. I think we have a few minutes. If anyone can stay on, I can stay on a couple of extra minutes. We can maybe answer a couple of more questions, but please fill out that survey, that form that they put in the chat. We would love to hear how we did today, and so we can improve for the next iConversations.